Rachel Houghton. I'm with the Employee Assistance and Student Assistance Program. And this is, if y'all don't know my son Maddox, he was a 2017 grad. He's going to be a senior in college this year. And so he's my videographer this morning. We are videoing because so many people have asked us in New Normal to put everything on video so they can upload it. He's here doing that for me this morning. So welcome back. Welcome back to masks and face shields and all of the questions and all of the anxiety and all of the what do we do, right? So hear me say first and foremost, it's okay. We're all in the same boat, okay? This morning I walked in and was talking with Dee for a minute, and I said that my theme for this year and school year is going to be grace, because y'all are going to have grace with me, and your students are going to have grace with you, and everybody's just going to have to do that, or choose not to, but we hope they do, because we don't know from day to day what this is going to look like. But it's okay, all right? So that's what we're going to talk about. In this new normal, one of the best things and the most important thing that you need to learn to do is to take care of you. Number one. I'm kind of bouncing off. I don't know how many of you were actually in Ron's sessions, but it was funny. He brought his presentation in yesterday afternoon and said, hey, can you take a look at this? And when I did, I said, oh, this is perfect, because I'm just going a little deeper from what you kind of did. So if you were in there, he probably talked about taking care of yourself. But I've said this, if you've been in 3D Day with me, if you've been in anything, I'm going to say it again, and you'll hear me say it probably all year. If you don't take care of you, how can you take care of anybody else? Right? So that needs to be first and foremost, that you are making sure that you take care of yourself, whatever that looks like. It can be exercise. That's one of the best ways to do it. So if you're not doing anything, starting doing something may be a really good thing, okay? Walking, riding a bike, getting in a pool, whatever that might be, but making sure that you are doing something most days of the week, because physiologically, when you're exercising, you get an uptake of dopamine and serotonin, which makes you automatically feel better. It's the brain's way of changing its chemistry to go, okay, I'm okay. It's also one of the best ways to try to relieve stress, because when you get under stressful situations, the body doesn't know the difference between exercise and stress. Exercise is a practice for stress. And I'm not going into the whole thing because I don't have time to go into the whole thing today, but what I want you to know is that's the number one best thing you can do, okay? Then eating right. Making sure that you're eating. That's one of the things, if you were to come in and say, Rachel, I'm not okay. I'm going to do an assessment on you. We do the same assessment on everybody, okay? And in that assessment, some of the questions we ask are, what are your eating patterns like right now? What is your sleep like? Are you getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a day? So doing these things to try to make sure that you're taking care of you are important. Because the analogy I like to use is, if you are on an airplane, the stewardess or steward is going to come out and say, if something happens on this plane and the oxygen mask drops, you are to put the mask on yourself first before you put it on children or elderly people around you. There's a reason for that, because you have to be able to have your oxygen in order to help them. So, the next sessions that I'm going to teach this afternoon is going to be how you help your students. They're walking in here to a whole lot of unknown, right? So you've got to be ready, and you've got to take care of you, and now's the time to do it. And then making sure you're getting time, some quiet time. It may be prayer, if you're a prayer. It may be meditation. It may be just reading an inspirational book, listening to some upbeat music, whatever it is, but taking some time just to let yourself be quiet and be still and take a deep breath. Because right now you're having so many things thrown at you that it's information overload. So it's okay just to go, oh, okay, I'm going to sit in the quiet for a little bit. 2 days ago, I typically go home for lunch, and 2 days ago I went home and nobody was there, and I didn't turn on the TV. I didn't really even look at my phone. I just sat there and ate my lunch because it was nice to just have the quiet. So, number one is take care of yourself. Number two, don't resist the change. It's happening, okay? Change is inevitable. It is happening. You are in the middle of it, and if you try to resist it, is that going to serve you well? It's going to make you angry, anxious, uptight, keyed up, and do you really want to live your life that way? That's not part of taking care of you. So I know when they come in tomorrow, I'm making this up. Okay, so hear me say, I do not know this. I don't have any information. But if they come in tomorrow and say, okay, we changed all the protocols and now you have to do this, right? Everything starts to get heat up and you want to go, no. You told me this and this is what I'm going to do. Don't resist it. Just kind of, okay, new normal, we're going to do this. Because it's not going to serve you well to try to fight against it. Being flexible and being understanding. When I said in the beginning that this is the year of grace, in my world, I have 7 counselors that work for me, and that really kind of sounds like a lot. We deploy out into the schools, people come to our office, and that sounds like a lot until somebody gets exposed, and I have to send them home, and then somebody else gets exposed, and I have to send them home, okay? And so when I say it's the year of grace, when I tell people, okay, we're going to try to be there within 24 hours to see your student, and I have to say, I'm sorry, it's going to be 4 days because I don't have anybody to do it. It's grace and understanding, right? Not just on that part, but like for you. If the teacher next door to you gets exposed and there's not a whole lot of substitutes and you might have to take 4 or 5 extra students, understanding and being flexible because we just don't know. It's okay. And just know, we don't know all the answers. I have heard, so we have a contract with Silverado Baptist Academy, we have a contract with Gordon County Middle Schools, and then here in Dalton. So I've heard a lot in the different school systems, and let me just say, nobody pays me to say this, y'all got the best plans in place. I mean, they are doing everything possible, and they're being honest and upfront and giving you the information that you need. So, sometimes just know that we don't know all the answers. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know if we're going to stay on home. We don't know all the stuff. So it's okay, and I'm telling you, it's okay to know that we don't know all the answers. It's okay. Number 3, let's look at some healthy ways to cope with change and with new normal. Number 1 is you can make one big choice every single day. Do y'all know what that is? Y'all see this look on my face? You can choose happy. It's a choice. You can get up in the morning and you can say, oh, here we go again. Or you can go, okay, today's the day, let's go. It's a choice. Now then, I'm not saying that 10 minutes in, something doesn't happen and it does make you go, oh. But again, okay, no, I'm making a choice. I'm going to choose happy in this moment. It's a choice. So there's that. One of the biggest things you can do right now to help with change is to take back control of your routine. And when I say that, if you're like most people that I've talked to recently, from March 13th until this past Monday, there's not been a whole lot of routine, right? I mean, in those school days, some of you may have been very routine with you got up and you did whatever, but then you've had summer break, and that's probably changed. It's time to get back to routine because that is something you can control. And if you have something you can control, it's going to make you take that deep breath that you need to take that goes, okay, in one part of my life, I've got this. So when I say that, getting up at the same time every morning if possible, and making that, okay, this is the time I'm getting up. You can be flexible on the weekends. But Monday through Friday, this is my get up time. If you're a morning exerciser, because I'm just going to assume you're going to do it, Then, okay, I'm gonna exercise before work. Then I'm gonna have my breakfast, and I'm gonna have a little quiet time, and then I'm going to work. And I'm gonna do my day. And then, if you're not a morning exerciser, you're gonna leave right from school or have your shoes here and do your exercise. Go home, make dinner, do whatever, have your nightly routine, go to bed at the same time every night, if at all possible. Telling you, feeling like you have control over something and you can control that will help you take that deep breath that you need to take and help lower that anxiety. Knowing that it's okay to take care of you. So if you need a little extra time in the afternoon when it's just quiet, it's okay to do that. If you need an extra walk in the afternoon, if you did morning exercise and you're like, oh, this has been a day and you need to take that, it's okay. Because if you don't take care of you, who's going to? I know, it sounds harsh. Like, that's not nice, Rachel. You know what? I mean, I have 2 sweet sons and a wonderful husband that really do try to, make sure mom's okay, wife's okay. But if they say, hey, go on a walk with your friends, and I go, no, I just don't feel like it, that's my choice to not take care of me. And so it's okay, they're going to be fine if I take 30 minutes to an hour to go do what's going to make me feel better, because then I can take care of them better. Right? Yeah. So it's okay to take care of you. And then, it's okay. You need to take some time, probably each afternoon that you've come to school, and sort through kind of how you're feeling. What I'm finding is my day has gotten really, really busy in the last month. I don't have a whole lot of open appointments in the next 2 weeks, and it's coming from everywhere. Like, we have contract with all public schools, Engineer Floors, Professional Eye, Hamilton Medical. It's everywhere. Okay, everybody's feeling uncertain because, honestly, I can say I honestly thought when all this started back in March, by this time we'd be back to normal. Like, I honestly really thought that. You heard in the beginning, heat kills the virus, all of those kind of things. So I'm thinking, okay, we're going to get through summer. We're back to normal. And we're not. Okay. So that's made everybody's anxiety go up quite a bit. So with that, when people come into my office, it's been interesting because some of them have been sent mandatorily from their employers because they had this weird anger outburst at work. Some of the nicest people ever have just all of a sudden, for weird reasons, like screamed at somebody. Well, it's because they haven't stopped and taken some time just to sort out how they're feeling. And so they bottled it, they pushed it down, they haven't talked about it with anybody, and then all of a sudden somebody comes up and says, how was your day? And they go, I hate you. Literally, that happens. I'm going to punch you in the face. And they're like, let's not punch anybody in the face. So what I'm saying is it's okay in the afternoons or in the mornings before you come to work or whatever it looks like to go, okay, how am I feeling? Like, am I overly anxious? Am I overly stressed? Am I mad? And why am I mad? Because once you acknowledge those feelings, then you can deal with them. But if you stuff them and don't deal with them, at some point they're going to come out. It just depends on what form or fashion that's going to happen. Have y'all ever done that to anybody? I mean, I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you a little trick this morning with what I call is flipping the tape. Because while we're in new normal, we have to learn to do this. And with that, it's literally like you have a cassette tape and you turn it on the other side, okay? So if you are struggling with anxiety, this is a great, great way to help fight that. Now, it's work, okay? But I'm going to give you, I'm never great on my feet with these examples, okay? But I'm going to try to give you an example like of an anxious thought that I have and how I flip that tape. So, an anxious thought is, what if half my staff catches the virus? It could happen, okay? It could keep me up at night if I let it, but as it comes through and comes through and comes through, all of a sudden, like sometimes literally out loud, I will go, Rachel, stop. Stop, 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 stop. Because I've got to hit the button to stop the tape so that I can turn it over. Okay, tell yourself the truth. The truth is, number one, you have no control over this. No control. The other truth is, you're making something bigger than what it possibly could be. Right now, everybody is healthy and everybody's fine. Number three, if they do all get it, then it's okay because we're in the middle of a pandemic and people are going to be understanding and it's all you can do. See how I did that? And then all of a sudden I can go, true, and move on. And when it comes back, because they do, you tell yourself the truth all over again. Does that make sense, how to do that? Like I said, it's work, and sometimes you have to go, oh, I'm so keyed up, Okay, stop. What am I going to do if I have to go all virtual? Okay, we did it before. It'll be fine. They're going to give me the tools that I have, and they're going to be as supportive as they can be. All right, so learning to flip that to the positive, or to the truth. And then learning to find meaning in the chaos. So I would encourage you in these next few days, before school starts, before things really hit back totally new normal, to take some time and reflect on the last few months. And look at what really worked and what you really liked about the last few months. So when I say that, you know, we lived a lifestyle that springtime would have been, we were in Nashville and taking turns being here every weekend to watch baseball. All that stopped. But what it did is we started having family dinners again. We all got to eat together every night. So, yes, they are both going to be out of the house come Sunday, but Scott and I need to keep doing those family dinners together and stay connected, right? And then when they come home, making sure that that's a part of our new routine. That was something that I loved about that. You know, the other thing I tried to do was really, even though I couldn't be in close proximity with friends, was to try to stay connected. Shoot a text. Hey, you're on my mind, thinking about you, how are you? Those are things that I wouldn't have stopped to do if I had been in the middle of busy spring, that I've tried to continue throughout, that I want to keep doing. So look at what worked and how you can move forward with that so that something positive comes out of all of this, right? I'm going to be honest. As much as I didn't want life to stop, and I didn't want my child to lose this half of his senior year and the other one to lose part of his baseball season and all of that, I wouldn't trade having him home all that time. So making sure that you take time to look back and decide how you're going to move forward and what you're going to take with you. Write out what you're grateful for. Just stopping to make that list. Okay, so, you know, right now I'm going to be grateful that Wednesdays we get to take a breath. Yeah, you still got stuff you got to do. But as you go into that hybrid for a couple weeks, okay, we don't have to be on 5 days a week, right? So what is it that you're grateful for, and what are the positives in those things? Set some goals. You know, that was one of the things that I really had, I struggled in the beginning to wrap my mind around the fact that I couldn't really go and do anything for a few months. And so while there were so many beautiful things about it, I had to go, okay, I'm not used to sitting, I'm not used to having this time, so what are some goals that I want to do? So I inflicted it on poor Scott, and it's not poor Scott, he has embraced it fully, but I said, okay, here's our goal. We are coming out of this quarantine healthier than we went in. So I was cooking, still am most of the time, and then we started exercising together, and even, the big deal is, Evangeline saw us this morning, 6 a.m. we were out there together. Scott didn't want that, okay? But if that's where we've pushed forward of that we're coming out of this better than before, and that was our goal. We have a mileage goal. All of those things, it doesn't have to be exercise related, but what is it that, again, you can control that may be good for you to set some goals for this year? And then if you need help, if you're just like, Rachel, you're saying all this stuff and I hear it, but I can't do it, reach out for help. Talk to a friend, or part of the reason there is the employee assistance program is that you do have a safe place to come and talk. It's free. You get an assessment plus 6 visits every school year. Don't let this overrun you. It may literally be that you just need to come in 2 times and we talk through it and you're fine. Or maybe that you need all 7 visits, right? But that's okay. Because you need an unbiased opinion sometimes, or just a safe place to go, this stinks and I don't like it and I don't know what to do. Or, things are great, but I'm worried about the people around me help them. Because I've had some of that too. Because that's one really important thing that y'all need to remember is that we're all in this together. So it's okay to maybe step into somebody's room and go, I'm just having a rough day. They may have some encouragement, or they may say, I'm having a rough day too, but we're going to get through this. But we need each other, now more than ever. And so don't hesitate to reach out for help. Now, one little disclosure on that. We do come to the schools to see the kids, but to protect your anonymity, we ask that you come to us when it comes for EAP, just so that we totally keep it 100% confidential. And, so if you see me here standing in somebody's classroom, it's because we're just chit-chatting, okay? If I'm not doing counseling here on site with anybody, okay? So you do need to know that we ask that. But again, as we've gone through this whole thing, you now have the option that you didn't have before. If you can't physically get to our site, I can talk to you on the phone. Or we can Zoom. I'm not great with Zoom, but we can Zoom. Okay? So you do have that option too that we didn't have before. So there's that. And then just a couple of other things. Here's the big one. I'm going to give you permission to turn off your TV, at least the news part, Netflix, whatever. But it's okay to turn the news off and not listen. Because nothing can get you more keyed up than what's going on around you and things that you can't control, and politics and what people have to say or not say about it, or just this many cases now. I'm going to tell you positive this morning about the cases. At the hospital, we got an email this morning that said we're off of co-triage, which we've been full, okay, and we're on a downward trend. Yes, that's a big deal. So as we're stepping forward, that's something to be positive about. But it's okay to turn off the news, and it's okay to get off social media, right? Nothing can raise my blood pressure or my heart rate faster than scrolling through something and going, oh my gosh, I can't believe they just said that. And then I want to say something. I'm like, no, Rachel, stop. This isn't your problem, right? So it's okay to turn it off, or just scroll through and not have a comment and not have an opinion. Because there's so much negative out there, and it's okay to just not. Scott, my family has really gotten a big kick because I've got on this meme thing, especially about 2020, and I just laugh, and they just think I have lost my mind a little bit. I told Maddox I'm just going to send him to him so he'll laugh because I'm laughing. But it's okay just to light it all up and laugh about stuff, because what else can we do, right? So there's that. Do y'all have any questions? Feel free. You've got me here right this minute. If y'all have any questions, concerns about how you're feeling, how to deal with somebody else. I will say this. I have this list of questions here. And the one I want to address just real quickly is, why do I get easily angered? And it's that lack of control. And knowing that I don't know how I'm supposed to do all of this. So know that it's okay to put that routine in place and control what you can control. All right? I will be around, so if you need to see me yourself, Ron and I both are going to be kind of just rounding most of the day. So grab us if you need to grab us, and y'all have a great day.